So in problem number 13, they're asking me to determine the domain and the range of the graph. So I'm going to take the domain and do the domain in orange. So domain is when we said, basically imagine that there's this stick figure guy walking on the x-axis, and when he starts to walk, he starts to draw what he sees when he looks up and down. So when when Bob right here is starting on the x-axis, he's going to look down and he's going to see, oh, there's a graph right here. And he's going to keep walking along the x-axis. And as he's walking, he keeps seeing that there's graph underneath him until he gets to a certain spot. And it happens right here. So at -2, he gets to this spot and he's like, oh, I don't see anything past here, so he stops. So in terms of the domain for this problem, the domain that we're going to see is that it started all the way out here at -infinity and went all the way up to -2. So the domain is from -infinity to 2. We know that -infinity or any infinity always gets a closed parenthesis. And because he ended right here with a closed dot, we use a bracket to show interval notation. Now to talk about the range, what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, for the range, we're going to walk on the y-axis. Now, remember that this arrow means that it's going to keep going like this. So when Bob is starting down here on the y-axis, he's actually going to start coloring right here. And he's going to keep coloring as he walks until he gets all the way to -1 right here. So as far as the range is concerned, matching my colors here, well, we started at the bottom. Well, at the bottom is -infinity, so we're going to go from -infinity all the way to -1. And just like we did before, infinities always end up with a bracket, or not a bracket, but a parenthesis. And then because we ended right here at -1, and that was a closed dot, we're also going to put a bracket right there.